Hello. As you come in, please tell me where you are from, what grow zone you're in, whether you're a canner or a gardener or both. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. What's your grow zone? Are you a canner? You're a gardener? Are you both? So I wanted to come on live today because I had a situation this morning. And I know if you all are followers of the channel, then you've probably seen me talking about jars and, you getting quality jars, that type of thing. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that today and just really remind you why it is so incredibly important to make sure that you are buying quality jars. Because this situation I had this morning, I don't want it to happen again. And I've discovered that there are a lot of people that are really afraid of canning and probably pressure canning more than just water bath canning. But there are a lot of people who are really afraid of canning. And you really shouldn't be afraid of canning because canning is so simplistic. And, with pressure canning in the beginning, you're going to get a whole lot of, depending on the type of canner that you have, you may get a bunch of noise, which is nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. If you get one of the larger canners, then they'll come with a pressure regulator that kind of gives you an idea of, where you are in terms of pressure, whether you're, in a green area where the canner is still saying, hey, I am safe, everything is fine, I'm just doing my job right now. And then you go to a higher level than what you're supposed to be, or higher pressure than what you're supposed to be canning at, then it can get a little bit rocky. Things can get a little bit scary for you if you find that the canner starts to rock, starts to move a little bit, it starts to make a lot of noise. You're across the room and the canner is really doing some stuff that you're not familiar with, especially when you're a new canner. But a lot of people are afraid because there have been, some issue with canning and maybe having some unpleasant things happen with the canner itself. But there are definitely ways that you can be safe. You can keep your family safe. You can keep from destroying your stove and your refrigerator, like some of the photos that I've seen on people that have had canning disasters. But if you maintain the safety protocols, you make sure that you're checking to find out what pressure you're supposed to be canning at, how many pounds of pressure. And you can Google that by putting in your area, whatever zone that you live in. If you put in your zone, put in your city, your state, and it'll tell you how many pounds of pressure that you need to be canning at. So that is vitally important when it comes to pressure canning. And so making sure that you have quality jars, that's another thing that is going to really save you. It's going to save you, money. It's going to save you time, and it's going to save you some disasters when it comes to having your food in the cabinets or having your food in your pantry or wherever it is that you store your food. And so let's talk a little bit about the time, the importance of time. So you have things that are highly acidic, such as pickles. So things that are highly acidic, you can actually water bath can these. And this is a water bath canner here sitting right behind me. So you can actually water bath can things that are highly acidic. Hey, Vest Journey, how are you? And so things like this, you can definitely water bath can instead of pressure canning. And so that's important. That's a difference. Now, when you talk about chicken or ribs, then that's when you're definitely going to have to pressure can. And so here is my chicken that I pressure canned. This was the first meat. Well, actually, it's the only meat right now that I have actually pressure canned. So when you're talking about chicken, you want to make sure that you have quality jars. And let me back up a little bit and tell you about these quality jars. So I bought these jars from a local grocery store here, very, high-end, one of the higher end grocery stores that are available on the market. So I bought jars from that particular grocer, and I discovered that one of the brands of jars that I bought was highly inferior to the other in terms of the lids and the rings that go on the lid. The ring was not so much a problem, but the lid that goes on top of your jars that actually is going to seal your food in to last for years for you. This is super important. This is very, very important to make sure that you have this lid stabilized when you're storing your food. And so going back to the time, there are some things that you're going to want to have the best quality jars that you can find, because you're going to have to can something like this for between 75 minutes and 90 minutes. That's a long time for the jars and the lids to have to take on heat. So that's why it's so super important to have the absolute best jars that you can get. And now there are some of the, very inexpensive stores that have, like, I call them like reject like products. They don't necessarily, you can't say that, you don't necessarily say that you can't use them, but you have to know that they're in the cheap stores for a reason. They're there for a reason. And typically it's because they did not pass whatever inspection, the quality level inspection that is the standard for whoever made the jar. So Best Yet Journey said, I haven't done pressure canning at all yet, so I'm listening well. Yeah, so pressure canning, it can be a little nerve-wracking at first. If you saw my first video pressure canning, I was pressure canning garlic potatoes, and I didn't pull out the, oh yes I did. So here are my garlic potatoes. And so you learn something, or you're supposed to learn something from everything that you do, right? And so I definitely learned something from canning these, and these are the quart-sized jars. And so I learned that I canned these for a little bit too long. I probably should have stopped these at 75 minutes. However, I love the texture, but what I discovered was that because I canned them longer, look at where my water line stopped. My water line is down here instead of right here at the rim where it needs to be. And so I found myself just turning them upside down so that the potatoes in the top can, get some of that goodness, just get some of that good stuff down there. And so I didn't find a problem with them. Actually, they are delicious. And the seasonings that I used, they were delicious. But instead of canning them for 90 minutes, the next time I'm going to can them for 75 minutes. And I won't have that texture that I'm looking for, but I will have my water left in the jar in order to, let it it's going to marinate over time anyway, which is probably going to break down the, little snap that the potatoes can have. So that's what I'm going to do on that one. So that's what I learned from that. And the chicken, it turned out fantastic. It's great. It's delicious. And, we enjoyed it. And there are and I did that for 90 minutes. I will continue to pressure can my chicken for 90 minutes. I definitely won't stray from doing that. And so I made sure that the jars, though, that I was using, the quart-sized jars, because I knew that I was going to pressure can them for a longer period of time, I made sure that I had the highest quality jars that I could find for that. And to me, in my opinion, that's the Ball brand. So that's what I look for when I go to try to find different jars to pressure can. I look for the Ball brand first and foremost. And then there are other brands, when I pressure can these, I had a problem. I had a problem from the start because, I didn't pressure can, I water bath them. But I had a problem from the start because the lid, there were 3 jars that the lids were kind of warped. And they were like that when I opened, the container of jars. They were like that already. And so I took a chance. I knew I was going to take a chance on those 3. There was one in particular that I definitely said, this one is not going to seal. And I just knew it wasn't going to seal because it was bent. And so the next day when I realized that it definitely did not seal, I just took it and put it into the fridge. And then, we ate from it from there. And the rest of them, they seemed like they sealed. So I put them in the cabinet. And so let me tell you what happened with that. So when I put them in the cabinet. So I did these on August 20th. Okay. Today is September 3rd. So I did these on August 20th. So it hasn't been that long ago. So when I went into the cabinet this morning to check on my jars, and this is what I'm told that, you need to do on a regular basis. And now I see why it is so critical that on a regular basis, you go through and you pick your jars up by the lid and make sure that your jars are really sealed, because you're going to have a bad problem when these jars are sitting in the cabinet and not refrigerated and they are not sealed. So when I went up into the cabinet, woo, hey Turf Therapy, how are you? So I went up into the cabinet, and when I grabbed the jar, thankfully, I had the foresight to grab the jar like this instead of grabbing it this way, because I was going to inspect them once I got them down. Good to see you too, Turf Therapy. Once I got them down, I was going to, check by the lid and hold on to the lid that way to inspect the jars. Because I was standing on a chair, because I'm short. So I was standing on a chair. I was reaching up into the very, very top of that cabinet, because that's where I have room to store. And I grabbed the jar, and sure enough, one of the jars was not sealed. And so when I brought the jar down, I tilted it slightly, and out came this most vile, disgusting smell that I have smelled in a very long time, guys. When I tell you, it made me sick to my stomach. Like, I was literally gagging because the smell was so intense. Needless to say that it smelled up the entire bottom floor of my home. Okay. I could have just chucked immediately. It was so bad. And that was the pickles. I cannot even imagine if that had been the chicken. I can't even imagine. And now, because the top was sitting on when I was in, when it was in the cabinet, because it hasn't been disturbed, because the top was still sitting on there, you couldn't smell anything, right? Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. Hey, Essie. Hey, Queen. How are you? Whew, I tell you. So that stuff came down, and of course, it got onto my shoulder. It got onto my stove. Some of it hit the floor. Some of that nasty juice. It hit the floor, and I was running for my life. I was running for my life because the smell was, oh, I was trying to think of the name. I was trying to think of a word, rather. I was trying to think of a word to describe the scent that was coming out of this jar. And I just kept thinking cuss words. I could not even think straight. I was just thinking cuss words. Everything came to my mind was just, I was cussing. It was bad. And so, okay, let me go ahead and grab another to make sure that this is the only one that, the top was compromised. So I grabbed another. All right. I grabbed it like this. But once again, I'm coming down out of this cabinet. And so I slightly tilted, and the other lid fell off, and I lost it. I just lost it. It was so terrible. It was terrible. Ooh. Ooh, it was so bad. Yeah, I was cussing. It was, ugh. It was so bad, y'all. So I can't imagine if that happened with my chicken instead of these cucumbers. I can't even imagine how that would have been. And so, needless to say, I had to go through, I had to bleach down, the cabinet, the floor. Oof. It was so bad. It was so bad. And my stove. And so, hey, Her Healthy Home. Hey there. Thank you for joining us. And so it is so important. It is vitally important that you are checking your lids. And if your lid seems to be compromised as soon as you open the container, when you buy these cases of jars, when you open the container, go ahead and check your lids. Make sure you don't have any cracks around here, and make sure that your lids are actually straight, because that was the problem. The lid was warped. It was just warped. It wasn't broken. There was nothing broken under the ring. There was none of that. It was just that the lid itself was compromised. And when that lid was compromised, and I actually said it in my video that I didn't think that one of them was going to be sealing. And so I was prepared to put that one into the fridge. But the others, they had sealed. So I thought they had sealed. And let me tell you another reason, another thing that you can do to help to make sure that you get a better seal. And that is to leave your ring on the jar for a full day. Because see, they're going to cool down at some point. And typically within a couple of hours, they're already cool. However, that doesn't mean, as you heard in this case, that doesn't mean that they're ready for the ring to come off yet. So these I canned about 24 hours ago. And as you can see, I still have my ring on there because I learned my lesson in doing these. It's not something that you want to experience. Let me see comments. Bad lids. Yep. It was bad lids, turf therapy. Thumbs up. Thank you, SC. The meat would have killed. The meat would have taken me out. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced that the meat would have totally taken me out if that had been meat, because I can't even imagine that. Let's see. What brand are those jars from? Okay, so this one was the, oh God, I hate to call their name. Hate to call the name. That makes my nerves bad. Okay. So I'm going to say it starts with an A. That's all I'm going to say. And I got these from Publix, along with the larger Ball brand jars. So all of my Ball brand jars have been fine. The lids have been perfect. Every one of my lids on the Ball brand jars have been straight. They have come in straight. No, these were from Publix. These weren't from Walmart. So all of my Ball brand jars, the lids have been straight, and I have not had any warping. I have not had any issue whatsoever with the Ball brand jars. And I'm not saying that I won't ever have an issue with the Ball brand jars, but with all the things that I've canned in the Ball brand jars, I've never had an issue. I've only tried Ball brand. That's, if you can find the Ball brand turf, keep on. I've been lucky enough to find a steady, fair price supply locally. And that's one thing too that's super important, because you have so many people that are just price gouging. They're price gouging really, really terribly. And so I have found that if I go into Walmart on a regular basis, go around to different Walmart stores. I don't go too far because at this point I have all the jars that I can afford to buy at this point. So I've got that little stash going on. But when you go to the Walmart stores, you may find only the quart size. You may only find these, but typically you're going to find the Ball brand in Walmart. And so I go to two different Walmart stores. There's one that's really close to me, and then there's another that's about maybe a 15-minute drive from me. I take the drive and I go and make sure that I look for the Ball brand jars. But typically, all you're going to be able to find is the quart size in the jars in Walmart because people are grabbing them. When they see them, they're grabbing them. My husband came home one day and said, "Hey, you would have been so upset because I saw this lady. She had a buggy loaded down with jars. She was just loaded down with jars." So, hey, Kimberly, how are you? And so I was like, man, I missed out. So Walmart is getting supplies, but you just have to be checking back with the stores on a regular routine basis. If you're checking with the stores on a regular routine basis, then you're going to find some jars, even if it's only the quart size. If you don't get there when they stock, when they put them, on the shelves or what have you, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to find you probably some quart size. Now, the hardest thing to find, and I'm sure that everybody looking for jars know this by now, the hardest thing to find right now is the 16 ounce. The pint size, that's the hardest thing that you're going to find right now. It's S's birthday. Oh, yeah. I saw her video pop up a little while ago. I got to go back and watch it. Her birthday harvest. Happy birthday, Essie. Virgo season. Happy birthday. And so and that's why I went ahead and went with the other brand, because I was able to get the pint size. That's why I went with the other brand, because that's all that was available. And so Essie did her unboxing video yesterday, Uline. So I have some jars from Uline. They're the 24 ounce ones. And now if you go on to Uline, you're not going to be able to buy the 16 ounces if you have not been buying the 16 ounces from them previously. So they are only for reorders. They're only selling reorders of the 16 ounce, but you can get the 24 ounces. You can get the 24 ounces. Hello, telling it like it is. Hey there. With all that fabulous grilling, I can't wait to see more of your videos because I love to grill. I let my husband do more of it now, but I love to grill. I love grill food, and your food looks delicious. It's looking delicious over there. And so let me see. Am I missing anything? You can get jars regularly priced on Target online. Okay. Her Healthy Home. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's really good to know. So let's see. What did I miss? Let me see. I know I'm missing something because the comments are rolling right now. Mine was Friday. Happy birthday, Turf. Virgo season. Virgo season. My husband's a Virgo too. So yeah, he had a last week birthday. So yeah. Let me see what else I'm missing. Her Healthy Home. Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I forget about Target because like Target isn't convenient for me. And so I don't go over there, honestly. Let's see. No pints, though. There we go. No pints. Everybody is, everybody first and foremost goes for the pint sizes. And so, that's the first thing that's going to sell out. And so we have to, if we see them, go ahead and jump on them. Now, I was talking about this brand of jars, but now I haven't had any chips or cracks or any of that stuff. It was just the lids. So what I decided was that I was going to just get extra lids that were better quality. And that way I can still use, that brand, the A brand. I can still use their jars because I haven't had any issue with the jars. It was just the lid. It was just the lid. Let's see. I'm missing something. Okay, I saw Target. I learned a lot more watching you. Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, he's a good man, Turf. He's a Virgo, right? Is he not the best, Turf? Come on, chime in. Is he not the best? He's a Virgo man. So I love him. He takes care of me and I appreciate him. I'm liking your look today too. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love my head wraps and things. I appreciate that. Go to Target every week and get 4 cases. I love the 24 ounces. Now, I have not used the 24 ounces yet, but I got the 24 ounces from Uline. Best Yet Journal, was that you? No, that was Kimberly, I think, that said that she was going to post a video about that. So I have to go to her channel and check out that video as well on, that extra place that a lot of people didn't know about. But Essie posted hers yesterday. Kimberly, I bet you posted it already and I just missed it. But I'll be going over there. Yeah, we the best. I know y'all the best. I know y'all the best. Been canning up a storm. Yep. And Libras are the best. September 28th. Okay, let's fight. Let's fight. I'm Team Aries, okay? I know y'all don't like us, but let's go ahead and have this fight now. Aries, listen, we the beginning of the zodiac, right? What's better than number 1, y'all? What's better? Tell me. Oh, my wife is Team Aries. See that? You know what? Turf therapy. Now, everybody says that an Aries and a Virgo are the worst match. Me and my husband have been married in a few days, 24 years. Okay? We complement each other so well because we're so different, right? So, so my fire and my energy, I mean, the Virgo is the only one really that can tame me. He's the only one that is strong enough to really tame me. He can keep me in check and we complement each other so well. So that's why, hey, I love my Virgos. I got to have my Virgos. Virgos are only good for homesteading. All right, telling it like it is. Don't start now. Yeah, we complement each other so well. Is that Lelam? Lelam, Team Virgo here. Okay, Virgo. 24 years. You win by default. I know, right? I know. We started dating in 1992. Can you believe it? Yeah, I'm that old. We started dating in 1992. So we dated for like 4 years before we even got married. So we like we know each other. We work well together. You know, he's one thing, I'm another thing. So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how people are like, how on earth does an Aries and a Virgo make a relationship work? We do. And like we complement each other. So take some work getting the foundation down, but it's amazing after the humps. Yep. Yep. Once he understands like how to snap me out of my mess, then it was like it's pretty much smooth sailing after that. I'm going to get you to like it is. Get him, Essie. Get him for me. Let's see. I'm surrounded by Aries. My mother, aunt, both my daughters are Aries. We all get along great. See, we do. And my one of my daughters is an Aries. So yeah, I have a Libra daughter, I have a Cancer daughter. So we got a little bit of everybody going on here. But yeah, we definitely work very well together. We just hit 8 years, but we went to college together, known each other for 15 years. That's nice. That's nice. And man, when it works well. When our relationship was a baby, I was a baby. Yeah, I know. It's been a long time. I'll be 48 September 28th. Don't pay me no attention. I'll see now. You all right? You all right? Let's see. I'm going to stick one of my chickens. Listen, them girls don't play. Them chicken girls don't play. I can't wait. I cannot wait to get me some chickens. We haven't bit the bullet just yet. But we are definitely that's something that we definitely are going to do. Um, let's see, as I fight over about the best zodiac at this point. So so remember that, guys. That's very, very important, is to make sure that you're leaving your lids on for a little while longer. I said I want to stick with ball and cur jars. My mama said don't even fool with it. Yeah, your mama is wise. Your mama is very wise. And at this point, I think I think I have maybe one more brand, but I'm gonna just make sure, I'm gonna make absolute certain that I get the best quality jars that I can, because that's gonna help me to not have those type of disasters that I had this morning. And so it was so funny because I went to take a shower, and my husband came into the bathroom and he said, "Babe, can I sit this outside?" He said, and I was like, yeah, sit it outside. Just don't throw it away. Just don't throw it away, because I need to talk about it today. Just don't throw it away. And so he took them and sat them somewhere outside. And y'all, that smell was still in here though. It was bad. And so when my daughter came downstairs, she was like, "What do you have going on today?" So I've been laughing at everybody today because they, when the girls come downstairs, they like, "What the heck is that smell, man?" It was bad. It just really just lit it up down here. So I was over it. I was over it real quick. And yeah, it was that bad, Essie. It was that bad. Not and that was just from August 20th. That has not been that long ago. That has not been that long ago. That was just from August 20th. So yeah, oof. Oof. It makes me queasy when I think about it. Oh my goodness. So that's super important. So I went and got me some extra lids and rings so that um, for these, to be honest, I'm gonna throw the rest of those lids out. The ones that like were the problem. I think I may have one more case of those, and their case was like only 6 in the pack anyway. So I'm gonna throw those rings out because I don't want, number one, when you don't want to waste your food. You don't want to waste what's in store for your family. Like, we're in a bad situation right now in the country and really in the world. We're in a bad situation. So we want to make absolute certain that when we seal our jars, we want to make sure that they are completely sealing, and that when we go and do our inspections every week or every month or um, whatever it is, however long you take in between doing your inspections on your lids, we want to make sure that everything is going to seal the best that it possibly can. Because I took all the steps, all the protocols, made sure that I wiped down with vinegar, wiped my rims down. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And so these 3 survived out of the 6 pints that I canned. All right, so let's see where you got them lids. I had a hard time finding them. I got them at Walmart. They actually had a small section over with the jars. They had a small section over there, Her Healthy Home, and I was able to find lids. They had also in that area, they had pectin. They had the salsa seasoning. They had a variety of stuff in that area in my Walmart. I know every Walmart is like set up different, because even the one that's close to me down the street versus the one that is all the way, that drive that I have to take, they are set up totally different. So I go into those areas and I'm going to walk down every aisle in the food preparation area, the home goods area. I'm going to walk down every single aisle. And because sometimes they'll shift things around and they may have the canners. Oh, I saw canners in Walmart. $79. A lot of people, if they are in a rural area, then they may have to be ordering online. So if you ordering online, ordering canners right now, if you can find them, people are price gouging and they're going to charge you, $140 to $170. They're going to charge you a lot of money in order to get those canners. Now, to me, it's worth it. Okay. That's just to me. It's well worth it. Whatever at this point, whatever I had to pay for a canner, I was willing to pay it. I ended up getting mine because my husband went scouring the city. He went all over the place looking for canners one day. And he ended up finding one. I want to say it was 99. He found it for 99. So we were really, really lucky that we were able to get the 23 quart for $99. So now Walmart has the 16 quarts for $79. And it's a hit or miss. And this one behind me here, that one was $21. Yeah, like $21. And so when I saw it, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and grab this now, because I don't anticipate Walmart doing the price gouging. That Virgo juice, I'm telling you, he's so nice. He's so nice. My Walmart's candy sections have been emptied. I went to over 3. Yep. That's what we're dealing with right now. So we got to be on it, like on a regular basis. For those who are still working outside of the home, if on your way home, if there's a Walmart, give it a minute and go in there and check and see what they have, because otherwise you're going to miss out. I bit the bullet and got some reusable lids from Tatler. Have not ordered anything from Tatler. I heard of it. I really don't even know what it is, but I'm assuming that it's somewhere that you can get canning. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the reusable Tatler. I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Let's see if I'm missing any more questions of the home. If you email me, I can mail you ball lids if you like. That's so nice. Thank you, Turf. Did the bullet and got some reusable. Gotcha. I have some. I'd rather give it to someone who doesn't have any. Yeah, yeah. We have to at this point. Um, we've got to be considerate. So if we do get a bunch of stuff, if we look out and grab a bunch of stuff and we know that we have an excessive amount, I mean, help your people. Help your people. Share the love, share the wealth, because right now this is wealth. And I also went back and got a dehydrator. So the dehydrator, it was only like $40 at Walmart. But all of this stuff, they're going to have all of this stuff in the same area typically in your Walmart, unless they have like an overflow and then they put some in other areas. Let's see. Yes, that Virgo be doing all that great stuff. I love him. Use the lids for jelly, maybe. Only if I'm going to go ahead and use it. Only if I'm going to go ahead and use it. So that's probably a good idea. If I do if I make a couple of jelly jars, yeah, that's a great idea. Best Yet Journey. That's a great idea. I'll do that instead of throwing them out. I'll just make them for the family. And like I said, I only have 6 more. So my kids, they can go. Can y'all see how pretty that is? Look how pretty that color came out with the strawberry jelly. These are the ones that I canned on my first live video. And they're so pretty. And the recipe I got from Homestead Heart, I followed her recipe and they are delicious. And so my daughter told me, this is my Aries daughter. Okay. She is like me walking all over again. So she says, I can't really taste the lemon like I want to. I was like, okay, sis, I would do a little, I'll put a little more lemon in the next batch. So she wants her some with some lemon. And so her first thing was, oh, I can put that down in my lemonade because the chunks are all in there. So you have just chunks of cut up strawberries. I didn't smash my strawberries. I just wanted them all cut up into just little bite-sized chunks. And this is incredible. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yes. Yes. Fresh jelly is the bomb. It really is. So now I got to learn how to make some buttermilk homemade biscuits. Once I learn how to make the buttermilk homemade biscuits, then we're going to be in business. But for now, they have been using it on their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah, it's been a hit. It's been a real hit, with the exception of Miss Lady talking about I need to add some more lemon to it. She wants to taste the lemon in it. So yeah, so let's see. Telling it like it is says if you have a Mark's store where you live, they're selling ball 12-pack mason jars, 32 ounce for nice. We don't have a Mark's here. Oh, wow. Just bought 3 cases. Wow. That's good to know. So you must be up north. I'm in the south. Okay. I'm in the South telling it like it is. So yeah, we don't have Mark stores down here. Our main in my area is Publix. We do have a Piggly Wiggly store here. You're in Ohio. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I remember that. Yep. Yep. So we have Publix is like the big deal down here in my area in the South. In one of the other areas that I used to live, it was Kroger. So I'm not sure what they have because that's a couple of hours away from me. And so I just go to Publix. I go to Walmart. I'm going to start going to Target. And what else? And then I had Uline online. So that's pretty much where I have found my jars at this point. And there's another one, and I just don't like them. I just don't like them. And so I'm not going to call their name because they canceled my order. They clearly showed that they had these jars in stock online, and I placed my order. Everything went through. Confirmation came through. And then next day, they sent me a cancellation of my order. So I don't like going into their stores anyway because they're like, the whole vibe is just wrong. It's just wrong. I don't like their vibe at all. And it is not in just one store of theirs, of this franchise that you go into, but it's in everyone that I have ever been in. The vibe is the same and it's not right. And so I'm just not giving them any more money. Hey, TT's Urban Pantry in the house. Hey, TT has an incredible pantry. Y'all have got to go and subscribe to TT's Urban Pantry. She has an incredible pantry. This girl is canning. She is getting it in. She is really going in on the canning. And I mean, I want to just go back and just watch the video again just to see her doing a tour of her pantry because it's amazing. It's amazing. You have done so well. Let's see. Yep, Uline. Y'all better go on Uline. Y'all better go on Uline. You better go ahead and get them. You're not going to be able to get the 16 ounces. You're not going to be able to get the pint size if you have not bought those jars from them before. They're not going to sell them to you. They're selling them to the people who have already bought from that 16 ounce jar. So it didn't matter whether it was the other brand or the Ball brand. The 16 ounces were off limits when I went onto that site. And because I normally buy shipping supplies from them. I had never bought the mason jars from them before. I couldn't even buy them, even though I have an account with them. So, let's see what else. Tell it like it is. I just joined your channel. I'm sure she thanks you. I'm sure she thanks you for that. That's so awesome. We got to support each other, guys. We have to really support each other. And so let me see what else I needed to tell you guys. Make sure, is there anybody on here that has, other than, I know Essie has canned now. I know TT has canned. Turf, are you canning or dehydrating or any of that stuff? And anybody else, are you all canning? And if so, how long are you going in between checking your jars, like checking the quality and making sure? Okay, yep. Hey, Eco Neighbor, welcome. I'm glad you got a free minute so you can pop in. Thank you so much. Um, but anybody else canning got a 941 a couple of weeks ago. Ooh, woo. That's nice. That's nice, Turf. That's a nice one. I check every 2 weeks. Okay. 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 Awesome. 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 So that's probably what I'm going to start doing as well. I was thinking probably every week would be a little much, especially when you start having a lot. I check mine almost weekly, especially those in the back. Okay. Listen, TT, those in the back be showing out. They be showing out. And so I know you missed it, but if you go back and I think you may have missed the first part of the video, but if you go back and check, I was talking about the disaster that happened with these. Woo! Ooh! Ooh! Yeah, they had me cussing. They smelled so bad, they had me cussing. So I need to go and make sure that every 1 to 2 weeks that I'm going to be checking the lids and making sure that everything is intact. And that's why I kind of have everything sitting out on my counter today so that I can go through and do an inspection of all of the lids. But I'm going to find me some different, I don't know, some storage containers or something so that I can put some of this stuff in. And Eco Neighbor said, that smell, wow. Woo, yes, yes. I'm telling you, when he walked into the house, he was like, oof. It was not pretty. It was not pretty. Let's see. I'm learning canning from you and other channels. I really appreciate you. You're helping a lot of people. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And this is why I wanted to just come on and just talk to you guys today, because I'm learning as I go as well. I have a canning book, and I didn't bring it over here with me, but I found a canning book and I looked through it for some things, but a lot of what I am doing, some came from my mom. She is like the pear preserve queen. So I got a recipe from her. I got one from Homestead Heart, and this strawberry jelly came from Homestead Heart. The recipe is on point. It's so good. And then I've just been watching a couple of other people, but honestly, I kind of stick with Homestead Heart because, you know, she got this information that was passed down to her from her grandmother and her mom. And, you know, that's what I like. The books are great. The books are fine. But for me, it's just my preference to be able to do some of this stuff, listening to people who have done it and it's tried and true. And so that's kind of who I am getting a lot of my canning advice from. She don't know me, you know. She don't know me, but I'm getting a lot of my canning information just off of watching her channel. I literally will put videos on repeat so that when I'm going through, like, this stuff is sticking. So I love watching her videos, and I learn a lot by watching her videos. Let's see. I only check when I'm rotating or when I get low on something. That might be something good for me to start doing. Okay. Her healthy home. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because if you go into your cabinet one day and then something just happened to, for whatever reason, not seal, baby, that smell is going to run you out of the house if it's been sitting there for a couple of weeks and that seal has been compromised. I need a basics video for beginners, please. Listen, my videos, are literally beginner friendly because I'm learning as I do it. So my first, hey, the Fun Reading Club. Hey, how are you? That's good. That's a good idea. Telling it like it is. Yeah. So the basics. Make sure that you're following the safety protocols. Um, and that's what I'm literally talking about today, like the basics. Make sure that you have quality jars. Make sure that you are um, using the vinegar to go around the rims to clean your jars before you put these lids on to make sure that you're going to get a great seal. That's super, super important. Um, Making sure that you leave the lids on for at minimum 24 hours. And I know in time you will be getting, you'll be canning faster. And so you'll need these extra lids because you can take these lids and you can freely reuse these lids at all times. Unless there's some damage to them. But typically, these are not going to be damaged. I have old mason jars, and these lids are like they ride or die. They stay in there. They are around for a very, very long time. But you may have the seal up under here that sticks to the top of this jar may become compromised. And so that's the reason that you need to have you some extra lids. The rings, they're going to be fine and you can reuse them. And from what one of the other canning channels was saying, you don't really want to store with the lids on, especially when you're talking about you having something like chicken, for instance. I'm going to go back. Look, can you see the little grease on my middle finger there? So you have that type of thing. Or with these, you may have jelly or something that you may not have gotten cleaned off the lid good, or cleaned off around the jar rather. Cleaned it off good. And if you have jelly there and then you have a lid sitting on there, it's going to stick. And so I'm just going to go through while I have these jars down. I am going to wipe everything down. I'm going to clean it down. I'm going to get me a little rag with some vinegar, and I'm going to go around all of these jars and make certain that these jars are clean. Make sure that they're clean. And then I'm going to take my lids and I'm going to reuse my lids as I get jars in. Okay. And especially when you're getting jars from your friends and family, which I'm asking everybody, hey, you have mason jars? You have jelly jars left over? You have any of that? Because I want them. I want all of them. And so you want to make sure that you have enough lids, and then your rings, you can just reuse those rings and you're doing good. But just leave them on to make sure that your jar is really sealed. So I'm going to start leaving them on for 24 to 48 hours, and then I will put them up. Let me see. It's a lot of conversation happening. Let me see. Let's see. If the vibe wrong, they can't be in your tribe at all. And I don't like spending money where I'm not welcome. I don't. And I will turn around and walk out of a store in a heartbeat. If you make me feel like my money is different somehow, or even my presence is different somehow than the next man, like my money doesn't spin green, just like the next man, guess what? I'll keep it and I'll go somewhere else and spend that money. I'll walk out in a heartbeat. And so it's just one of those, it's just not a friendly place and I don't like it. And so I'm not spending any more money there. Um, okay, I'm claiming it. I'll be the canning king. Come on with it. Come with it. Telling it like it is. And you can do this. Like it is literally so easy once you've done it for the first time. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The pressure canning scared me. It scared me the first time I did it. I was afraid. And I was taking my pressure regulator is sitting right here. See this pressure regulator? So you take this pressure regulator and you put it on, you sit it onto the vent pipe. When the steam is coming up out of the pressure canner, you got to take this thing and you got to sit it over that steam. Well, the first time that I sat it over, I tried to sit it over the steam. I'm not even going to flex. I threw it. So say the vent pipe is here. So I'm like this, and I'm so scared of the steam shooting up out of there. I was like, and I threw it. I threw it. And so I tried it again for the second time. And I said, okay, you got this. You can do this. You can do this. I was afraid. I was terrified that this steam was somehow going to, it was going to get me. It was going to get me. And then I was like, okay, you grown, like you real live grown, cut this out and put this thing on there. And so I went back the third time and I was intentional about making sure that I sat this thing on there properly so that it didn't, burn me. But at the same time, it was on there and it was time to start building up my pressure. So that was the nerve-wracking part. And then my canner I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. So I'm at an elevation, I can't remember my elevation, but I have to can at 10 pounds of pressure in this area. And so when you sit this on, you then have to wait for your pressure to go up to 10 pounds. This is on the pressure canner that I have now. I have the 23 quart Presto. And so it has a gauge on there that tells you how much pressure you're at. And so when I sat it on there and it started to come up, to 10 pounds of pressure, I was like, okay, it's at 10 pounds of pressure. And so now I turned my stove down a little bit, but I didn't turn it down enough. And so now it's still rising. It's still going and is now at 12 pounds of pressure. And I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I turned it down a little bit more, thinking that, turning it down that little bit was going to be enough to slow it down. The next thing I know, this big behind pressure canner is making some noise that I have found in my later pressure canning trials, that it was gone. It was gone too far. It was gone too far. And so all of that rocking and just loud noise it was terrifying. I can't lie. It was terrifying. And so once I got it under control, I turned it down like too low, literally too low to get this thing down from going towards like 15 pounds of pressure. Yeah, it was scary. And once you get to like 15 pounds of pressure, it's kind of like, okay, you're in a danger zone right now. On my canner, you're kind of in a danger zone right now. So yeah, I went ahead and made sure I went ahead and made sure that I got it down. I got it back down, and it dropped to 9, and then I pumped the heat back up, and then I got it. So that first time I was in between 10 and 11 once I got it under control. And so listening to Lady Cheryl, Cheryl's Organic Food Forest. Yeah, Cheryl's Organic Food Forest. She was saying, as long as you don't go down to 9, you're going to be fine. If you're supposed to be pressure canning at 10, don't go down to 9. You can go to 11. It can pressure can at 11 and it'll be fine. But don't pressure can at 9, because if your area says that you need to pressure can at 10, you need to pressure can at least at 10. So that was some good information, and hopefully it can help some of you. Hello, Family Homestead. Hey, thank you for coming back. Thank you so much. That's how I feel about lye. Listen, I've been natural soap making for 6 years. Once you know what to do, you know what to do. And you don't really have to worry so much about the lye. So once you know what to do. And then, of course, I have developed some techniques over the years that it'll keep you safe. It'll keep you safe from, getting burned or anything by the lye. Eco Neighbor said, I thought it was about to blow. It probably was. If I wouldn't have been, on top of it, it probably would have blown. So let's see. I think about it popping me in the face just by a helmet with a guard. Listen, this thing, a helmet and a guard is not going to save you if this canner blows. I promise you. If you saw the size of this canner, if you're near it, ain't nothing you can do. Ain't nothing you can do. So this is why it's so important. It's so super important to make sure that you're following all of the safety protocols and make sure that canner does not get out of control. So when I am canning, even for 90 minutes, I don't leave the kitchen. I don't leave the kitchen. I go to the other side, but I never leave. I don't leave the kitchen at all. When I'm getting ready to can, I go ahead and prepare everything that I need. I go ahead and go to the restroom ahead of time. I go ahead and do whatever else that I need to do, because when you're pressure canning, it requires your attention. Because if your temperature starts to rise, that's not a good thing if that temperature gets out of control in that canner. So stay with your canner if you're pressure canning. Now, if you're water bath canning, if you're using one of these, or if you're using your double boiler, whatever it is that you use, or pot to water bath can, you're going to be fine, because literally your water is covering your jars. So you got 1 inch, maybe 2 of water over your jars. Your jars are going to be fine in the water. I have not seen really any disasters with water bath canning. The disasters come with the pressure canning if you're not paying attention. If you are paying attention and you're on top of your game, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine with pressure canning. And once you know what to do, you know what to do. And it becomes like second nature to you. Like the second time that I pressure canned, I felt like I knew exactly what I was doing. So it was just about going through, and the scariest part was when the canner started to make noise, because I wasn't accustomed to that, and putting this on, putting that regulator on there. So that was it. Yep, the rumbling. It's the rumbling for me, honey, because I'm not about that life. So I thought it was about to blow. Really scary. No flex zone. Bev Jones, thank you for sharing your experience. I often wait until someone else has tried something. So you want me to be the guinea pig, is what you're saying? Me be the guinea pig, and you sit somewhere safe, and then I'm up here with the pressure cannon. I will use my double boiler from now. Water bath cannon. Yeah, the water bath cannon you can do. Like highly acidic foods. Stuff like this. The Yeah, you can do all of this type of stuff, and you can also do your preserves in water bath canning. So there's a lot that you can actually do in water bath canning. I have not looked at a lot of the other things that you can water bath can, but I want to make sure that we have more meals than dessert, if that makes sense. I want to make sure that we have more of the chicken, and I definitely I want to try some ribs. I don't eat ribs a lot, but every now and again I want to try to can some ribs and just see over time how they turn out. And then I definitely have to do soup. I definitely have to do salsa because my kids love salsa and chips. I saw a lady canning cheese, and she had her disclaimer because the cheese, there is like no approved method of canning cheese, but she showed how she canned cheese. I don't know if I want to do it because I'm not really I'm lactose intolerant. I don't really eat a lot of cheese like that. And so I think there are a good number of things that can be canned and will be canned in this household. I'm going to be doing a lot of canning. So I just started out with some of the easier things just to make myself feel like I kind of got it, like I understand really what I'm doing. And then learning some recipes, getting some recipes, kind of stuck in my head. And I'm definitely going to be doing more potatoes. I'm not going to can them for as long next time, but I'm definitely going to be doing more potatoes. I'm going to be doing more pickles because the kids want some pickles. And then right now I have enough preserves. So the last preserve that I have to do right now is peaches. And if you see my videos, you see I'm always calling pears peaches because for some reason I'm stuck on peaches. So I have to do that one. I'll probably do that one later today, get the peaches canned, and then I'm probably going to move on to some salsa or either some tomato sauce, some homemade tomato sauce. I'll move on to that. What are you guys canning? Tell me what you're canning, what you got in storage. I saw TT's Food Pantry. I saw her with the Caribbean sauce. Was it TT? If you're still on, some Caribbean sauce or something. It wasn't like it was similar to a salsa. Creole sauce. You're right. You're right, Her Healthy Home. It was the Creole sauce. So, yeah, I definitely have to try that. You should try that steak marinade I canned. Okay, I'm going to check that out. I'm going to check that out, Her Healthy Home. And I saw your video this morning on you doing the meals for your family. That was a really good one. And the one where you were organizing, that was amazing. That was really amazing. Just to see the different types of baskets and places and making space and all of that, really good. Really good. So yeah, I'm gonna do some of those. So I'm gonna do the Creole sauce and the salsa. Um, and what are you guys canning? What else y'all canning? And thank you all so much for the likes and coming on in the middle of the day with me. I appreciate you guys. And all right, fun reading club. Later, wanting to can more juice. Oh, you know what? I did. I saw the steam juicer, and of course, it is on my list of to get. So I'm definitely going to be looking at that steam juicer. I think I need to start a little savings fund for that steam juicer. That's what I need to do. I really want that one. Let's see. Yep, the Creole sauce. Yep, gotta have it. Do you dry herbs? I absolutely do. I do. I actually have some in the dryer right now. I have some in the dryer right now. So I have some hanging up, and then I have it's chickweed. That's what I have today that I'm drying. No savings. What do you mean? What do you mean? No. Why not? What's chickweed used for? So chickweed, you can actually eat chickweed on salad. So a lot of people use it for detox, for weight loss. Um, there are several other things that you can use chickweed for. Um, I want to say, what did I hear? Regulating blood sugars. I believe I heard. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, definitely. I actually got it for detox. So I love to have different teas, herbal teas. Oh, hibiscus tea. So I put hibiscus tea and chickweed together, and I just love natural teas. I love natural teas. Now you gonna talk about some no more new appliances. I know we got a lot of appliances. Had to sneak in the bread maker. Oh girl, I gotta have one of those bread makers. I saw that cake you made in there. Oh, it's going down. You need to relieve, use to relieve rheumatic pains and psoriasis. Yes. I'll be making soap with that. That's why I'm drying it now. So for skin conditions, yeah, there are several things that you can use chickweed for. So I have literally just tasted it, fresh, washed out of my yard, and it's not extremely bitter. So it's something that you can actually chop and throw it onto your salad. So asthma, blood disorders, conjunctivitis, constipation, inflammation, dyspepsia, skin ailments, and obesity. Yeah. So there's a lot that you can use chickweed for, but I have a lot of it sitting actually on my dehydrator right now. So I pulled out a gallon size bag out of the yard, and some of it I hung it up to dry, and then the rest of it I put it on the dehydrator because I just wanted to see like the different methods of drying chickweed, like what it would look like, and then also the scent once it's dried, um, using the different methods. So yeah, it's something that is readily available. I have a lot of it. Have a lot of it in my yard. So I take full advantage before my husband cuts the yard. I take full advantage of grabbing all the chickweed that I can. And so, yeah, I'm sure it is in my yard. I have nothing but weeds. And this is the thing that I've learned a lot of it, a lot of the things that we see as weed are actually beneficial, and some are even medicinal to us. It's all about recognizing what the particular weed is. It's just like, did you all know that the dollar weed is used in regulating blood pressure? Dollar weed grows all over the place. And for some people, it's a nuisance even. So it'll grow all over the place. It'll grow all up into your good, healthy soil in your flower garden, in your vegetable garden. And so it helps the soil. But our ancestors used the dollar weed to help with regulating blood pressure. Dandelion grows all over the place. It grows all in my yard. And so when I see dandelion growing wild in my beds, I was like, it continuously comes into this good soil around my, it can grow anywhere now. Dandelion it'll grow for you. You don't have to even put much effort into it. It'll grow for you. But I continuously was noticing that it was in my bed. It kept being in my garden where my vegetables were. And so I did a little research. Come to find out that dandelion actually helps to infuse nitrogen back into your soil. Anybody know that? It was news to me. It was something new that I just learned maybe 2 months ago. So I stopped pulling them out. I allow it to stay now into my bed. I allow the chickweed, when it grows into my bed, I allow it to stay into my bed because it's adding calcium and nitrogen into your bed. Once it breaks down, once it's gone through its present life cycle and it breaks down, it's going to leave nitrogen into your garden. So I'm not so quick to pull what I see as weeds out of my garden anymore, because I see now that there are benefits to some of the things that we just see as weeds. And there's also an app, guys. There's an app. The name escapes me, but there is an app that you can literally take a picture of. It's a free app. They'll try to get you to buy it. You can buy it if you want, but I have no need to buy it. But I use this, picture this or picture it. But it's a plant app that you can take a picture of a weed or a flower or whatever, and it's going to give you different returns on what it possibly is. I discovered my oregano using that app. And so I tasted I knew that it was some sort of herb, but I couldn't remember what I had planted on my veggie wall. And so I took a piece and I was like, this is like, when I first tasted it, it was like a little bit lemony. And then when it just kind of kept sitting and I kept chewing, that aftertaste, I was like, oh, this is oregano. I was like, this is absolutely oregano. So it's a good app. Picture this. Okay. And Plant Snap, Eco Neighbor says. So yeah, you can definitely do that to find out what is around you. It's so important to know what's around you, because there's so much medicine around us. There are so many things that can really to help us live a healthier lifestyle, but that can also be a source of medicine, wound care, all of that type of stuff if you need it in an emergency type of situation. So we've got to study and we got to do the research and find out what this stuff is that we think is weeds around us. So get the app, snap a picture, and then kind of take a look at the different results that it give you, and find out which one it actually is. That's been a great help to me. It's been a tremendous help to me. Let's see what else. Comments. Best yet journey. I have done. Ooh, it got away from me. Okay. God provides these herbs for free to feed us. There it is. Having that right mindset. You got to have that right mindset. The weeds are, some of them are very good for us. Now, if that raggedy grass gets up in my, yeah, you coming out. Grass, you getting pulled out. But the weeds, yeah, a lot of them get to stay. But I have to determine which ones they are, though. So once I've determined which ones they are, then I'll decide whether they're going to stay or grow. But I'm not so quick to pull them out anymore. And I definitely have to harvest some of that dollar weed and dry it so that we can have it on hand, because, you know, blood pressure, I don't have it, but, you know, some of my family members suffer with blood pressure. And, you know, if they start looking for an alternative, then here we go. We have an alternative that can help you to not have to deal with some of that. Can you can herbs? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if you can can herbs or not. I don't see, I would say this. I would definitely dry the herbs, and then I would get a food saver machine, and I would put the herbs in like a jar and just suck out the air. And to me, that's it. That's canning. That's canning the herbs. Those apps help me so much. Yep. It's been really good. For herbs, it's better to preserve them in tinctures or preserved in oil. Heat will take away the nutrients. And now you can heat them a little bit. Herbs is, I work with herbs a lot. And you can heat them a little bit. I never go over 200 degrees when I do certain things to heat my herbs. I never go over 200 degrees. I keep it really super low. And, you know, typically it's in an oil, but yeah, they're going to be so much better if you keep the temperatures pretty low when you're trying to extract the nutrients from the herbs. But yeah, I preserve in oil, and then some of them I dry. One of my favorites, well, a couple of my favorites to preserve in oil are the comfrey plant, the calendula. That's like my number one. Lavender. I have had some lavender buds and some oil for a good year now. And I just opened the jar the other day just to kind of smell it. I didn't heat them at all. I just actually put the herbs in the lavender buds in the jar, and then I just filled it up with oil. And it's been sitting there, and it smells amazing. It smells amazing. I love lavender. So definitely use, you know, the light oils and preserve your nutrients as much as possible by not, you know, heating the herbs. If you do heat the herbs, not heating them too high. But some of them I don't heat. And then if I'm making salves and things, then yes, I will heat them, because typically it's something that I'm trying to ship out. heat probably will change the properties. Yeah, if you go, definitely if you go over a certain temperature, it'll break down a lot of the nutrients that are in there. And so I've been doing it for quite some time now, and you know, with a lot of success, with a lot of success in the salves and oils and different things that I infuse. All right. So I think that's pretty much, I said all that I had to say in regards to the canning and, how to maintain, make sure you're checking your jars, doing your inspections on a regular basis, and getting the quality material. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much again for coming on with me. I appreciate you all. And if nobody had any further questions or comments, I'm going to get out of here. Anybody? I give you 3 seconds. I didn't mean to be on here this long. Did not mean to be on here this long at all. It's been an hour and 30 something minutes. But I like talking to y'all. Y'all come with a lot of good information too. Thank you for your live chat. Have a good afternoon. Thank you guys. And I will talk to you guys on the next live. I think I want to do this probably just a couple of times a week. As our Burns, you just got here. Okay. I think the replay is definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. Okay. Good to see you today. And so, yeah, I want to do this a couple of times per week because I'm always running into something or learning something. And I definitely want to share that stuff with you guys. And we're all learning and growing together. So, yeah, I'll do it. I'll come on live a couple of times a week and just kind of, see who we can help. And we just help each other as much as humanly possible. So thanks again. And I will chat with you guys later. Have a good day, everybody. God bless. You too, Arburns. Take care. You're welcome.